Hello, everyone, and welcome to I Heart Mount Airy. For February 2021, we have Kelly Green, Vice President of Mount Airy Main Street Association, joining us today, as well as a few other goodies. So stay tuned for our show and listen for more. But for now, let me introduce Kelly Green and her updates for what MAMSA is doing for the town.
Great, thanks, Gina.
welcome.
For those of you who do not know me, as Gina said, I am Kelly Green. I am the Vice President of the Mount Airy Main Street Association, and I'm also the historian for them as well. I wanted to come to you today to let you know some really exciting news. But before we get to that, to make sure you listen to all my other stuff, I did want to let you know that keep an eye out for the St. Patrick's Day event that we're having on March 20th from 12 to 4. This event was rescheduled from the chocolate crawl. We did have to postpone that due to weather, so keep a lookout, and I hope all of those that were going to come to the chocolate crawl go ahead and come out for our lucky golden ticket chocolate crawl in March. And if you haven't, yeah, it's going to be great. Lots of music and lots of good chocolate, and all the restaurants and shops will be open. So we hope that all of Mount Airy can go ahead and come out. Of course, be safe with the COVID regulations, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Chocolate always makes for a great event.
Yes, it does. I certainly like it. And there'll be some giveaways and prizes and all kinds of fun stuff. So let's just hope that Mother Nature and Jack Frost cooperate and it's not a cold day.
They've been difficult this year, not cooperating with a lot of things, but hopefully they'll work out just in time for our lucky golden ticket event.
Yes, yes. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick so that I don't forget to tell you all everything. So we are in the middle of our annual membership drive. One of the, our membership drive, or our membership actually runs January 1st through December 31st. And we are in the process of renewing existing members and recruiting new members. And I think that one of the reasons why you might want to join is, one, we're a lot of fun. You know, we have a really good crew to be able to get things done downtown. I'm sorry about that. And it'll give you an opportunity to connect with other businesses or people in the community, and you know, maybe you can form partnerships or just kind of be able to help each other out. It's really a great opportunity to connect and meet new people. And what we like to do, part of our mission, is to build a relationship within the community. Our main mission, of course, is the historic downtown area. We like to bring events and opportunities to get people together and get into the shops and just kind of support the downtown community. But we are hoping all of Mount Airy is interested in doing that. And if you'd like to be a part of that, please, you know, go ahead and let us know. You can access membership form on our website, which is www.mountairymainstreet.org. And we would be happy to have you. And in addition to joining, if you have any interest whatsoever in joining us or being on one of the committees to volunteer to help us put events on or just contribute, we certainly have opportunities for you to do that. We have 4 committees right now: organization, promotions, the retail restaurant committee, and economic restructuring. All 4 groups can certainly use your input We also are looking for people who want to give back to the community in the form of volunteering at events. Now, we do have several events coming up. We do allow teenagers or young people to come out and volunteer for their community hours. It would need to be an event that's appropriate, age appropriate. So we certainly wouldn't, use teenagers, at a beer tent. They would be, you know, helping out at the MAMSA tent or guiding people or that type of thing. So again, you can reach out to us at our website and let us know if you're interested in volunteering. If you become a member, we do put out a call when we need volunteers. You're not obligated if you're a member. We just like to give you the opportunity to come out and give us a hand and join in with the community fun. So hopefully you all will find it in your heart to do that. Just a heads up, just a quick note, we are having elections in June. So we need to, if you're a member, you also get a vote on who's going to serve on your board of directors. So that's another opportunity for you to kind of have a say in the kinds of things that MAMSA sponsors downtown. So, yes,
just,
Gina?
just to reiterate, you're not looking just for business owners, but all members of the community to help?
Yes.
And become members?
Yes.
Great.
Yes, absolutely. We have a business membership and we have residential membership. And we do meet the third Monday of even months. And right now, because of COVID restrictions, we use Zoom to do that. We may, once restrictions are lifted, go back to in-person and online. I don't think we'll ever end the online. We have found some success in attendance with the online option. So don't feel like, you have to make yourself available in person. You can sign on online and that would be great also. Do you guys have any other questions before I get to the big exciting news we have for everyone?
I think you provided all the information. You have the website here, and if you have questions, through the email. So
Yes.
I think everybody is clear. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so now for some really great news for our downtown businesses. The Mount Airy Main Street Association is a recipient for a Main Street grant. Governor Hogan announced it yesterday. They announced $7 million emergency relief awards, and we have been selected as one of those recipients.
Yay!
Yay, I'm so
That's
excited.
such good news.
Yes.
We are so excited to be able to help our downtown businesses. I can't tell you, we've been waiting on pins and needles for this announcement, and we were super excited that we were a recipient. We do have a grant committee that includes Melissa Thorne from downtown government. Sorry.
Howdy. That's okay.
She's a town employee. And then there are 3 MAMSA members, myself, Kelly Patrick, who is president, Alice Settle Raskin, who is the Economic Development Committee chair, and Wendy Rimby. She's on the board of directors. So look at our website. Keep an eye out for further information. We are waiting to get final numbers and things from the state. So we're hoping to kick this off March 1st, Monday, March 1st, where we'll release the application for each of the businesses to apply. And yeah, make sure you do apply, please, because we want to give this money to you to help you keep your businesses running. So
That's so awesome, and really soon. It's what, next week, right? March 1st.
Yes.
And I know you said that you were granted this award, but it actually came with a lot of work on your part, on MAMSA's part, on applying for that grant. So we certainly do appreciate your time and effort to get that done and bring such a fantastic benefit to Mount Airy businesses.
Thank you. Yeah, I have to give a lot of props to Melissa and our president, Kelly Patrick. They have worked super hard to make this happen. I've kind of come in at the tail end to help work through some of how we're going to be able to distribute it. So thank you. We are so excited to be able to do this.
Yep, and you should be. A great accomplishment.
Yes. So that is my big news for I Heart Mount Airy, and I have stopped sharing my screen. So I don't have anything else to add other than please keep looking at our website for additional information regarding the grant.
Great. Thank you, Kelly, for joining us today on I Heart Mount Airy.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Hey guys, so last show we talked about the loan program was just introduced, and now we are talking about how 2 local businesses have already taken advantage of the program, have been granted a loan, have been issued a check, and we've got only about $10,000 left in this program. So we want to announce this and hope that if you are a business out there, brick and mortar in Mount Airy, there are flexible funds available if you have been impacted by COVID-19 the past year. And if you are a new or existing business expansion, so maybe you're coming from out of town, but you're looking to lease a space in town. And if it happens to be a space that was vacated due to this terrible virus, then you could be eligible for funding here. There is an application process and more details on the town's website. If you go to mountairymd.gov/loan, you can see all the information on our website. Just a couple snip here. It's an interest-free loan financed for 48 months with payments deferred the first 12. And applications will be reviewed by committee. And the process is pretty quick. It's about a 2-week process, give or take. So please check that out today. If you're interested, you can always call me as well. 301-829-1424, extension 0.
Again, thank you, Melissa, for all your efforts and for helping keeping our Mount Airy businesses healthy. Another great asset for them to entice our businesses to Mount Airy.
It really is, and we're grateful. Actually, our leadership here in Mount Airy, that was a council decision, of course, to implement in our budget, and we're grateful that we have these, resources we can pull on, especially now. I wanted to talk about Keep Mount Airy Beautiful. It is a new initiative that we are able to begin now. The town's proud to announce we are Keep America Beautiful affiliates. This is a program with national credibility. We can work with a national network of peers, other affiliates in the program. We have access to training and other resources, as well as grants we can apply to. Keep America Beautiful has been an organization around since the 50s, and they try to provide a community education framework, and they have a goal to end littering, improve recycling, and to just beautify each community. And that's what we're going to be looking for here in Mount Airy. This program is just getting started, and we're actively looking for partnerships right now with different groups who can help with this mission and to help beautify Mount Airy. Soon, there'll be a website popping up. We'll be heavily promoting our partner events and organization initiatives through that website. And this is an opportunity for people in our community to get involved, to join this organization. So again, reach out. via Facebook, or you could call us. We'd love to see anybody interested in furthering this mission.
Hey, so if you haven't already heard, we have election this year. As you may know, we have them every 2 years, and every 4 years, the mayor and council members' term ends. So this year we have the mayor and 2 council member positions up for nomination, up for re-election. And right now you can start requesting an absentee ballot if you do not want to show up in person to vote. We will have the actual physical live in-person elections on May 3rd at the Mount Airy Reception Hall. If you're interested in running for those town council or mayor seats, we will have our first and second nomination meetings again at the Mount Airy Reception Hall on Twin Arch Road. Those dates will be March 8th and March 15th, and they will be live on Facebook as well. So if you're interested in running, you can visit our page. You can see on the bottom of your screen here, www.mountairymd.gov/elections, and you can find out more about both how to get your absentee ballot or how to submit a nomination to run for one of those positions. The actual ballots will be available April 12th once we get all those nominations in, so we know who to put on the ballot, and they will be sent out April 12th. So if you have questions, you can always email us at info@mountairymd.gov, or you can visit our page, again, mountairymd.gov/elections. So we're also getting ready for our 2023 master plan. We like to do that every 10 years. The last one was done 2013, and it took us a little while to get all the valuable input to put into the master plan. The master plan guides us for the direction of Mount Airy. Our leadership uses it to make decisions on future projects, how the community would like to see our town move in the correct direction. We're going to be using the town survey that was done last year as input, as well as John Breeding is heading up a workshop the first Thursday of every month via Zoom. So he'll be visiting with all our commissions for their input on the guidance of our town. Again, if you have questions or if you'd like your property rezoned, as you can see on the screen here, you can email email address we have set up, 2023 masterplan@mountairymd.gov. And we also have a page set up again with more information, again at www.mountairymd.gov/masterplan. You can also use the QR code to find out more, to send you to that page. If Ira Mayor Contest is happening now as well, this is something that's put out by the Maryland Municipal League, the MML. It's open to any 4th grader in Maryland to submit a contest about how they think, or what they would do if they were mayor. Normally, this is an actual live visit to our Mount Airy schools, both Twin Ridge and Mount Airy Elementary. But this year, due to COVID, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to be providing a video for teachers to use for their own time frame with a nice little introduction from the mayor. More information will be sent to the 4th grade teachers. But again, if you have questions, you can email info@mountairymd.gov.
All right, Mount Airy, we have some exciting news coming from our green team, aka the Sustainability Commission. They have been working in team effort with Melissa Thorne with the Keep America Beautiful grant that the town received last year to select 2 types of compost bins that they will be offering throughout the year. These bins will be at a discounted rate to any of our citizens that are interested in starting compost in their backyard. In order to receive a bin and be part of the program, there will be free demonstration classes that will be hosted at the pop-up park in downtown. The dates for those classes will be coming out shortly. We are hoping to start in March, so please go to our website, mountairymd.gov/green team for more information. There is a form that you can fill out to say that you're interested, and we will get in touch with you with dates, times, and make it available for our RSVP for those classes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of I Heart Mount Airy. I'm here with our community development team, Melissa Thorne, Ashley Collier, and we are interviewing Steve Demoter, our head of the Growth Development Task Force. And we are going to be concentrating on the town survey that was done last year and asking him a few questions about it. Steve, thanks for joining us. And could you tell us a little bit about your background and how you became a part of the Growth Development Task Force?
Sure. First, thank you very much for having me. I've been a resident of Mount Airy for about 28 years. So I've lived here and experienced what a great town we have. I am recently retired, and I spent about 26 years in federal government. I was a senior scientist, and I was a senior executive, a member of the Senior Executive Service. I was the assistant administrator and chief safety officer for a transportation safety agency within the U.S. Department of Transportation. And some of the things I did there included data analysis and performance measures and such. And then before that, I was with the Department of Energy. And most recently there, I was the office director for the Office of Analysis, where we did nationwide for the department analysis of environment, safety, and health information and reporting, development of performance measures, special studies, that type of work. So that's my background. I was looking for an opportunity to volunteer in the town. And so someone approached me about the town survey, and I got hooked up with the mayor, and the mayor and I chatted. And he appointed me to the Growth and Development Task Force. So that's how I got hooked up.
It's always dangerous to get hooked in with the mayor. He always has a lot of good projects to rope people in.
That's right.
That's great. Thank you for the history. So we're curious to know how many people responded to the survey, and how did that compare, if you have notes on the last survey, the 2007 survey?
Right. So for the 2020 survey, we got a 26% overall response rate. So we sent out over 7,000 surveys, and we got back about 1,900. So that comes out to 26%. I think for the 2007 survey, the estimate was around 50%. It's interesting. So I did a little bit of research when we got our response rate. And if you look at survey research literature, they say anything from a 5 to a 30% response rate is a pretty good response rate for a survey. And it's also driven by how you conduct the survey, the length of complexity of the survey, the level of difficulty, et cetera. Mm-hmm. So given that our survey was really quite involved, it had a lot of questions, a lot of multiple choice ranking questions, and then space for additional comments. So it was quite involved. And I think the citizens did a very good job of being responsive to the survey.
That's really good. So it was a little bit less response, but you're saying it was more of a intensive survey, like because of the questions that were asked and the like short answer questions and that type of thing? Yes.
And then the other thing is, it's interesting, one of the differences between the 2020 survey and the 2007 survey, and this is an important point, because it really opens up the kind of analysis we've been able to do. we sent it out by mail, but we also asked for demographic information. So we have information on the location of the survey takers, how long they've lived in Mount Airy, what age groups lived in the homes of the people who took the surveys. And so as an example, just based on that, we looked at the distribution of survey responses by location, and we got a very good overall distribution across, spanning the whole town of Mount Airy. It wasn't just mostly people in one neighborhood or another. We got good representation across the board. So that, coupled with the response rate that we got, we feel that we got a very good sampling of the views of the citizens in Mount Airy.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So with those survey results, how do you think the town can incorporate those results to better the residents' lives? What information can we use from that survey in particular?
Well, and this gets at the heart of the survey and how the survey can be used. And I have some very, I guess, very important points on this matter. I think some people, it's a natural behavior to say, well, we had the survey, we have the results. That's a one and done activity. Thank you very much. We learned a lot. But really, this survey is really a living resource because of the way we set the survey up, the way we put all the information into an electronic database, and the types of analysis we can do based on the demographic information we have. So rather than see this as a one and done survey, I think the town really needs to look at it as a living resource that can be continually drawn upon to help answer questions and resolve some of the views that the citizens have. I mean, it's good that we got a lot of positive responses, but we also got negative views of the town. And I think it's important to look beneath the surface as to what might be driving some of those negative views, understand them, and then that provides the town with an opportunity to make improvements and address those concerns. So my value proposition, if you will, is that moving forward, the town should take the survey data along with other information that the town collects and has available to them, and really analyze that in a more macro holistic manner to better inform decision-making, improve work processes within the town, and then ultimately improve the outcomes of town government. So it's a whole different way of looking at an issue. It embodies the guiding principle that we said when we conducted the survey, that our citizens are the most important stakeholders in driving what direction the town goes in. So it's kind of it's an organizational culture and safety culture kind of an approach. Every organization has a culture, and healthy organizational cultures have qualities such as valuing different opinions, taking actions on lessons learned, having a continual learning kind of an approach. So where we'd like to see the town go is in that spirit, better understand what's driving the positive and negative views of the town to help then address some of those views.
That's great. Great information. So it's a living document that we can keep referring back and use.
Right. And I can give you, as we go on, if there's an opportunity, I'll give you one or two specific examples of how that survey information can be used real time moving forward.
What do you think is the ideal frequency to issue a town survey?
Well, I think initially the idea was, I think the mayor said, the town would like to do this once every 10 years. I think that may be a good model to follow, but I do believe that you could do more targeted topic-specific surveys on an as-needed basis, even annually or biannually. And so, for example, this time with the survey, we did it by mail, but we also used the SurveyMonkey tool to aggregate all the information and put it into an electronic database. So now that the town has that resource, you could do some quick topic-specific surveys and do it online and get that information back real time to address, very topical issues of the day. Or, for example, there may be some issues that came out of this survey, which I think there are, and you could do a follow-up survey online, kind of a pulse survey, just on that specific topic.
Good feedback. A major issue that you were discussing, some of the issues that were brought out by the survey. One of them was the traffic safety on Main Street. Respondents saying urgent action is needed. What recommendations did anyone offer in their comments, or did they?
Well, that's a good question, and I'll give you some specifics, but then this also highlights with the survey, we got over 50% of the surveys had written comments provided in them. And these weren't just 1 or 2 word comments. These were multi-sentence, even multi-paragraph comments. So the citizens were very thoughtful about expressing additional opinions and concerns about the town. And so it's important that as the town looks at the survey, they need to not just look at the responses to the answers, but also really review those comments holistically, because it really provides information that's not readily apparent in some of the specific questions. But regarding your question on traffic safety, some of the things that people recommended were, there was a realization that maybe the traffic load could not be addressed in terms of the volume of traffic. But there were many, many comments with concerns about the speed of traffic on Main Street. And suggestions included putting speed bumps, especially in the northern Main Street, but also on the rest of Main Street. So speed bumps, red light cameras, like traffic cameras, to kind of foster the behavior of following the speed limit. There were a lot of comments about parking on Main Street, questioning the need for some of the Main Street parking, but rather use the main parking lots above the town Main Street, partially for safety concerns for pedestrians and such on Main Street. And then several recommendations regarding the intersection of Prospect and Main, right there by the bank building. Suggestions were to either put a 3-way stop or put in a traffic light to make it easier for people to get on and off Main Street from that intersection. So those are some examples of concerns and suggestions. And then here's an example of how the town could be using the survey. The mayor and the town council, the mayor could, through his leadership, say, okay, we have a Streets and Roads Commission. Streets and Roads, I want you to review the survey. I want you to go through all the comments in the survey and all the suggestions about traffic safety, pull those together, and then come back and give me a recommendation on what can be done based on what we saw in the survey. So there's an example of, asking the town commissions to look at the survey, look at the issues that are related to what those commissions do, and then have those commissions come back and report back to the town. Now, I can help do some of that analysis, and our Growth and Development Task Force can do more of this analysis, and we're happy to do that. But I think it's also important that that town government really embrace the survey and really look at it for themselves so that they understand firsthand what our citizens are telling us, and then ask those commissions to come back with recommendations.
Can you talk about what may have surprised you most about the survey results?
Well, I'll answer that in two categories. So one, because this survey was in many ways much different than the 2007 survey, because this survey, we asked questions on growth and development and quality of life, but we also broadened it and we asked questions about safety. We asked questions about the quality of town government and services. And then we asked questions on some specific issues and needs. And then the manner in which we did it, where we collected the demographic information, allows us to get a Mount Airy whole picture, but by dividing the data into 20 specific locations, we can look location by location, neighborhood by neighborhood within the town, and see for that neighborhood what their perspectives were specific to that town, to that neighborhood. What surprised me the most? Not so much answers to specific questions, but when I read through the body of all the comments in the 2020 survey, compared that with the 2007 written comments, what I was struck by was, quite frankly, the level of frustration of many people in the town regarding lack of progress on some of the main issues of the day, improvements to the downtown area, traffic, the Flatiron building, the bank building, some of the blighted storefronts. Just it seemed like a high level of frustration of the town not moving as fast as maybe people would like to see them move. One of the things we did, about 20% of the questions in the 2020 survey, we modeled to be similar to questions in the 2007 survey. So we could do some of that comparison. And we did the analysis between 2020 and 2007 on those questions. And for the most part, we're seeing very similar trends. I mean, viewpoints on the need for additional residential growth, additional business growth, very similar responses between 2007 and 2020. But again, what struck me was in the written comments, frustration with lack of movement. Because we had safety on this survey, there were a lot of questions about safety in the town. I think people feel very safe, but the point is that there's a lot of attention to safety and security, and people valuing that as a key attribute as to why they like being in Mount Airy, because it's a safe community, has a good quality of life, it's very family oriented, it's quiet, etc. But the underpinnings of all that is safety. And there were a lot of comments about safety.
So overall with the survey, you have each of the topics that you surveyed, but the feedback you've had on the process itself or the town implementing this survey, have you had any feedback from citizens?
Well, we didn't get any follow-on feedback. Of course, we got feedback within the survey, and just as I'm gonna practice what I preach, just as I'm saying that the town needs to listen to negative comments and act on those. We got a lot of very positive comments about the survey. People were appreciative that we did it. They liked that we made a commitment to listen to citizens. Some of the feedback in the written comments were that they felt some of the way the questions were worded were trying to drive a specific outcome or answer. Like we're trying to lead people to a specific conclusion that we wanted, especially for some of the topic specific questions like the Flatiron Building or Harrison Lashir, et cetera. So that's good feedback to hear. I know that we had no intention of biasing any of the questions. We were trying to ask the questions in the best way we could. And really the bigger picture was to just make some of those issues visible to the citizens and to get their feedback on that issue and to make them more aware so they could get more involved if they wanted to get more involved. So that was one of the suggestions for improvements. There was a suggestion in the future, maybe we should do this online, which I think we all agree we would probably do that next time. And there were some suggestions about transparency of results, suggestions about maybe putting a summary of the results in the newspaper or sending out a newsletter to just more broadly inform the community about the results. I know we have this published on the town website, but there are different ways to message the results and get the word out in different forums so that people do see that not only did we do the survey, but we want to communicate the results and we want to be able to communicate how the town is using that information moving forward.
So you mentioned that the commercial growth was one of the issues that people said that they were concerned about. Could you break that down a little bit more for us? Were there specific concerns that were brought up or general, or did they offer any advice on what they would like to see? Or
they did, and there were several questions related to additional business growth. And the main theme was, we asked the question, where would you like to see additional business growth occur? And they had options of concentrate in existing areas, identify new areas, or we don't want to see any additional business growth. And there was a very strong, overwhelming response of, we want to see additional business growth concentrated in areas where there's already, business activity. So they were focusing on downtown Main Street, those types of areas, not necessarily find new areas, but let's concentrate additional businesses in the downtown area. A lot of responses sharing that, again, rather than have new buildings, new businesses outside of the downtown area, let's first really try and fix up the downtown area. Let's improve the business storefronts, get rid of some of the abandoned buildings, and really spruce up downtown. So that was a major theme. In terms of the types of businesses, and this is very consistent with 2007, people preferred restaurants and small specialty shops over all other types of businesses. And I'm thinking, for example, hotels was one of the options. Hotels was the least selected business option within the town, and that's consistent with 2007. So again, in summary, keep the focus on downtown. We want to improve the downtown visual and level of activity there. We want to see restaurants and small shops. And they did express that they were open to some new areas. So that may come into play. For example, there was a question about opening up Center Street and connecting that to Route 27. And that got a 2-to-1 vote in favor of opening up Center Street. So maybe they're telling us that to focus development downtown, but then they would be open to some additional growth in that area.
Respondents had a clear preference for recreational facilities that offer leisure activities in the natural environment. What recommendations did people make, and what did they like most and least in terms of recreational activities and facilities?
Yes, and so this was a question that we duplicated generally from the 2007 survey, so we could compare and contrast how people felt over the last 10 years. And I had a little surprise in one area of response, but in general, yes, very strong votes for hiking, walking, jogging trails, very strong views. That was the most popular type of recreational facility that people would like to see. There were even some written comments that said they'd like to see the Nottingham area of town connected to downtown Mount Airy, so kind of bridging that, expanding the rails to trails network. So walking, jogging, bicycling trails, picnic facilities, those types of facilities were the most popular. Some of the least popular were skateboarding parks, rollerblading parks, basketball facilities. They're on the low end of the spectrum. The area that surprised me just a little bit was like baseball fields and soccer fields, ball fields. I think in the 2007 survey, that was one of the top 3 or 4 requested recreational activities. And in 2020, it didn't make the top 4. It was down more in the mid-range. But it was interesting of the people who wanted ball fields, they ranked at number 1 about 50% of the time. So what that tells you is there is a constituency out there that still thinks that's important. But relative to hiking and biking trails, lesser so.
That's pretty fascinating to see the change of that.
Yeah, I was surprised. I mean, I knew that this is a town that really values its natural environment and sustainability, but I was surprised at the level of interest in not just maintaining, but adding to the hiking and biking trails and developing a network of that across the town of Mount Airy.
So overall with the survey, do you feel that survey respondents think that we're moving in the right direction?
I think there was a question at the end of the survey that says, and it was a right track, wrong track kind of question. Do you think we're moving in the right direction or wrong direction? And we put it at the end of the survey thinking, as you work through the survey, you're thinking about all these questions. You're responding to quality of life questions, safety questions, business growth and development questions. And then at the end, you're hit with that overall, okay, everything in combination, we going in the right or wrong direction. And I think it was over 90% that said we're going in the right direction. And that's supported by people's views on the quality of life. It's a quiet community, it's safe, it's a good place to raise a family, has communicated. This isn't me, this is the data talking. Also, you look at the demographic information, there's about a third of the people that live in Mount Airy have been here 20 years or more. A third of the people have been here for greater than 11 years. And then a third of the people have been here fewer than 11 years. And that really, those proportions haven't changed a whole lot from 2007. So what that tells you is people are coming to Mount Airy and they're staying here a long time. And so there must be a reason why they're staying here. You know, it's a good quality of life, et cetera. But having said that, you know, many things can be true at the same time. So while this is a great place to live, getting back to that culture philosophy, you know, people did express concerns and issues about some of the negative aspects. And it's important that we look at those and say, how can we get even better? How can we continually improve and make this an even better place than we have now? So that's kind of a way to look at that right track, wrong track question.
Thank you, Steve. In your experience in delivering this survey, would you change anything for the future?
I would. I think I would recommend that we do an online survey. I would recommend that, I think the design of the survey was generally good. I think some of the questions we could probably streamline a bit. I think I would give an incentive for completing the survey. Again, this is in terms of lessons learned for us. Again, looking at the survey literature, they say that the things that drive a good response, one is offering an incentive for completing the survey. So, and I think you've done that for some of your town activities. So we could have a drawing, or, you know, if you take the survey, you're entered into a chance to win something. Just incentivize participation, and that may help with the response as well. I think we did a good job advertising, but we could do a better job in our messaging. But again, overall, a 26% response rate, I think is pretty good. And I know the mayor was quite pleased, and the council was quite pleased with the response rate, the thoroughness of the survey, and then this analytical piece that we're able to do that we really couldn't do with the 2007 survey.
Great. Again, thank you. Were there any other final comments before we wrap up the show for today?
I want to say thank you.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to say thank you because it takes volunteers, and I should say Mount Airy has been blessed to have the volunteers that we have had, because it's such a time-intensive thing, and we're grateful that volunteers were able to pump this survey out in the manner that it happened, and you were a huge part of that.
Well, I appreciate that. And I do want to, I appreciate that you're giving me an opportunity to share my views on the survey. But again, this was a team effort. Wendy Rimby was our task force chairperson. And then we had Mike Dixon, Mike O'Brien, Mark Magnolia, and then Matt McDonough. We're all part of the growth and development team. So we all had different roles. My role more focused on kind of being the survey document manager and putting it together. And then I managed the overall contractor work and the analytical piece, and continuing to lead the analytical piece on the survey. But it's been a great team and a great team effort. And we're going to continue to be here as a resource to the town to do additional analysis and provide insights when asked for that.
Great. I'd like to reiterate that we do certainly thank you for your time here. I mean, this is just a half hour of the time, but also the hours and months and coordinating and organizing the effort in general that you put into creating the survey. It does help us as a town move forward using the community input. So it's certainly an important piece of making Mount Airy a great town.
Good job, ladies.